Alright guys, so today we're going to be fishing some soft plastics to start. Gonna troll to my first spot. You know, never know if you don't have a line in the water. I don't have a ton of hope, but it's like having a scratch-off ticket. If you have one, you have a chance. So stay tuned. See if we get anything on the troll to our first spot. There we go. There we go. Oh, little rat. Oh yeah, little rat. Start the day. That's why you always troll to your first spot. You never know. You're either gonna get nothing or you're gonna get something. I always believe, man, I mean, that's a tiny striper, but you know, if I wasn't trolling, I wouldn't even have a chance to catch this little guy. And this guy's better than nothing. All right, man, it's a cool little striper, little aquarium size striper to start the day. So I'm trolling along this bank right here. I've always done well going, you know, 2 knots or less with the current. You know, dragging some type of soft plastic to the side, because I know these fish like to hang tight to this structure and just kind of use the sod bank as a current break. Alright, so today's video, I'm gonna be throwing some Mossy Mullets. This lure's won my heart early spring. Figure if it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. We're gonna fish it on a 1/2 ounce eye jig. Might be a little heavy for how shallow I'm fishing, but if that becomes the case, I'm gonna move it to a 1/4 ounce. But we got a lot of wind today, and I kind of need all the weight I could get to make the casts that I want to make. But let's see what happens. All right, we're gonna try and position ourselves right here on this little corner and just try to jig. We got wind against tide. Not really sure what to expect, but we'll drop it down. Not seeing much life on the screen, but you know, these fish are moving, so I'm not too worried if we're not seeing something right away. There's some fish right under us right now. Let's see if I can't get one of them to bite. Tough crowd today, man. There's some fish right under us, but we cannot get them to bite today. Oh, that guy hit out of nowhere, man. We are straight nursery fishing today, man. What the heck? I'm not mad, you know, don't get me wrong. Catching fish is better than not catching fish, but my God, it's like Oompa Loompas. Alright, because the wind's coming from directly on my back, I'm going to keep pushing up and then back pedaling, because I'm not really getting the drift that I really want. But I'm going to kind of try and work off this little ledge. I think there's some fish sitting here. The last drift we had, I had 3 hits and 3 misses. But I'm not seeing as much on the screen right now. I'm like, man, I just passed a mother load right there. I'm gonna let this sink and I'm gonna slowly retrieve it to myself. I think that should be the ticket, honestly. Oh, there we go. I knew that would work. Just low and slow is what we had to do. Oh, son. This actually ain't a bad size one. Compared to them little guys we had earlier. Actually, this guy has a little size to him. He ain't gonna be a keeper, but I think he'll be like a 26, 25 inch fish. just don't feel like messing with them. I'm gonna just net them a little bigger. Yeah, he's definitely not gonna be a keeper, but I'm glad that he cooperated with us. Look at that, man. Inhaled that Mossy Mullet. Little guy. There he goes. Alright. Try and jig it right here. Slowly seeing some life on the bottom. That's definitely a fish right there that we're about to hopefully drag our bait right past. Oh, look at that. Oh man, it's like video game fishing. That's pretty cool. You know, you gotta build in the delay, because the way my sonar on my kayak is a couple feet ahead of where I was fishing. That's not a bad one. Tell you what, man, you can't beat springtime striper fishing, man. They are just fired up every day. I know the winter to spring transition could be real difficult, but man, once that water warms up just a tad, these guys just go absolutely nuts. There we go. Man, that ain't a bad one, man. Look at that. We went from babies to maybe older siblings. I wouldn't call that the mom and pop fish, but because that's still, you know, a smaller striper, but not a bad one for what we're doing. All right, man, we're gonna get this beauty back in the water. No need to measure him. He's definitely undersized. Oh, the good old tail whip. Maybe we get one that's keeper, we might keep it. Maybe do like a catch and cook, who knows. I was gonna say something just smacked it small. Oh, oh my god, look at that. Oh my god, you could live line that guy. That is an all-time low for me, man. Look at that. That is impressive. Holy smokes. There we go. Oh my lord. Back to the rats. Back to the rats. Oh man, I think I might have cursed myself by saying the last fish. Couldn't get any smaller. That might be his brother, twin brother. 10-inch twins. So on a normal day with no wind and perfect conditions, I wouldn't be having to pedal as much, honestly. I would just set up on the corner of this ledge and just jig as the tide pushes me, but the tide really isn't, the tide and wind are not working together today, so it's kind of, it is, you know, wind against tide isn't the worst thing in the world, especially when you got a ripping tide. It'll help keep you from blowing away, but only issue is certain parts of where I am, the tide is much stronger than the wind, and vice versa. The wind's a little bit stronger than the tide, so kind of get this like haphazard drift. But that's why I'm just throwing it in reverse every few seconds to kind of keep me at a steady pace. There's some life right there. Oh, and there's a fish. Another little guy. These little guys. Short but spunky, is what I'll call them. Short. I'll tell you what, the only bad thing about these little guys, man, is they spine you, man. If you know, usually you don't get spined by the big ones because they're not big enough to, or they're too big where your hands aren't all over the place. But